Hello, trainers, and welcome in to a very special edition of a fantastic conversation we're going to have today. Compliments of our fine crew up here at the Parallel City Syndicate. Make sure you come check us out for weekly Gym Leader Challenge tournaments at Gen X Gaming in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, every Thursday at 6 p.m. But no games today. Today we got something a little special for you. We have decided that we're going to have a fun little conversation today about fire. We're going to talk about in defense of fire and have a great Gym Leader Challenge conversation about where it is and where we are in the format and some recent successes and a bunch of good stuff. Now, I'm a fire lover, I'm a fire believer, but I know that I can't do it alone. So I've got to introduce my co-hosts, my friends for this episode, my fellow fire compatriots. We're going to start it off with my co-host with the co-most, the captain himself, Captain Kev. Kev, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty about surely the best type in the format.
Surely the best type in the format. Outstanding. But not only do we have Captain Kev with us today, we have also got full grip royalty in my estimation, longtime GLC player, old school fire lover, my main man. It's Alex Carpenter on the mic. Alex, what's up, man?
What's up? Talk about some fire.
Yeah,
Surely it's playable.
it's got to be at least playable. Appreciate you coming on, my man.
Yeah.
And not only do we have Alex Carpenter in the house, but we have also got another special guest, the man I am super jealous of for getting the illest card in the format right now. It is recent fire runner to the 3K, Mr. Thomas Headley Jr. Thomas, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going? This is Thomas coming off of that fresh fire 4-3 placement at the full grip 3K for pitch black, and I'm here and ready to talk about some fire.
Yeah. Also, current holder and owner of my absolute favorite card in the format right now, that full grip stamp Salazzle. Could not be more jealous if I tried. It's like the only card in GLC that I want right now. So good on ya. So yeah, let's hop into our conversation here and get things kicked off here. Again, this is being hosted by us here at the Parallel City Syndicate. So myself, Joel Dolliver, Kevin Ricciardi, Alex Carpenter, and Thomas Headley Jr. We're going to have a great conversation today. So let's get it kicked off here. Let's talk about where you got to start every time you sit down to build a deck, especially with fire. Let's talk about the basics. So we've got a couple of basic guys that we are seeing in most of our decks. The Chi Yu, the Pressure Entei, and the Heatmore certainly getting some love here. But we've also got a couple of other guys that we have seen from time to time. Sunny Cast Form, Gouging Fire, the Rally Back Entei, and the Volcanion. Let's get it started here with my homeboy Captain Kev. Kev, what do you see when you look at the basics for fire right now?
Well, I see Chi Yu. Chi Yu is certainly, I think Chi Yu is a strong card one way or the other. I don't think that's exclusive to fire.
Mm-hmm.
The Mega Fire of Envy attack is just a revenge attack, 50 plus the 90. If one of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, that's for 2 energy without any energy manipulation. So I mean, 2 for 140 is a good number. Of course, it's got 1 retreat, so you can slap a U-turn board on it, no problem. The Entei, probably my favorite attacker in Fire. That Entei's ability, 20 less damage from your opponent's active Pokemon, does not just apply to the Entei. So it is good spread tech as well. And the attack is pretty serviceable. It is base of 60 plus 20 for each fire energy attached to it. So it's a pretty
It
it's
can,
an all right attack.
it
Three
can
for
ramp
120
up.
is not ideal, but it certainly can get up there in number. But it
Yeah.
has an effective 150 health with the ability, and it's not too bad of a start against a lot of these fast decks that we see in the format now. And then, of course, this Heatmore that kind of just rips an opponent's board apart without any manners, really. The 90 to the active on this exciting flame, but if it has 3 extra energy attached, it does 180 to a bench Pokemon. That's knocking out about 99% of the Pokemon in the format.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
everyone out here catching strays for sure, for sure.
That's
Now,
right.
Now I'm looking at these cards, and I see a couple of gray borders, but I also see a lot of yellow borders. Alex, you've been playing around with fire for quite a while. You've got a storied history in GLC, uh, plenty of badges to your name. Um, when you look at these fire Pokemon, are we looking to phase out these yellow cards, or I mean, is Gray going to get any love?
Uh, I I hope fire gets some love. The only probably as much as I am, I do like the yellow border cast form in Entei, personally, but I think the new Entei is just better the way the deck is being built at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the only yellow border card that really I don't think is easy, at least for them to really phase out through newer cards, is the Heatmore. Just provides such a unique effect that they don't like to print all too often
Yeah,
in hitting the active and sniping the bench. But yeah, and like Kev said, the Chiyu is, I think Chiyu would see play in almost any type.
yeah.
Um, uh, Entei is, yeah, it's great lead, especially by reducing the damage. The way it works for the entire board. So if it's active, the fighting's Ting-Lu only spreads 10.
Yeah.
Things like that
You
helps with
just got
breaking bolts.
you just got to remember that. I'm ashamed to say how often I forget that pressure does that for everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of abilities that work like that, so it makes
Yeah.
sense because most abilities like that just say that Pokemon takes less damage instead of forcing the opponent's active to do less damage. It's real semantics the way it works, but it is a cool effect in making Entei 150 biggest basic fire has. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And the Volcanion is someone I tried to make work for a long time. That flare starter, that extra acceleration you can get on your first turn going second, uh, is really strong. Being able to get up to 3 fire energy from the deck, and it builds up that second attack, that high heat blast for 2 energy. But it's just so inconsistent getting it together. Um, yeah,
Yes.
these are great dudes. Thomas, I want to get your take on where basics are with fire right now. Do you like these dudes? Which ones are you not a favorite of? Is there anybody who didn't make the list here that you think should get an honorary nod?
Sure. First, I'll point out the gouging fire that hasn't been mentioned yet. I still believe this is one of the better attackers, basic attackers, that fire has to offer right now. Uh, if it was a little bit more like the Zacian or the Zacian that was released with Psychic recently, that if it's 3 prizes or less, does like 140, that would be much more, a little bit more on par with something that Fire is looking for currently. Also, there is the Moltres, where as long as the Moltres has damage counters on it, it can do 90 for 1 energy. Can definitely be set up with plays like a Rainbow Energy or like a Magma Basin to the bench. So that can definitely see some more play. Yeah, that's about what I think.
Yeah, I will definitely co-sign that gouging fire. I do love the gouging fire. I love that it's base 100 and then does 70 more the later on in the game. It's a little bit kind of balanced that way, so it's not like a lot of these other kind of rally back or come from behind attacks where it just got a good front number that looks really good.
Mhm.
But yeah, basics are where they are. So now that we've talked basics, let's get into the one guy who did not make the cut, but absolutely needs to in all of your decks: the gas pedal, the Torchic. Um, the Omega Barrage Torchic is a monster, being able to allow it to attack twice in one turn. So the question is, why is this guy the gas pedal? Tell me, Kev, why is Torchic the gas pedal?
Yeah, I mean, being able to attack twice means a lot of these technical machines that were definitely not meant to interact with the Barrage Ancient trait are able to be used twice. So, very common theme in a lot of these Torchic decks are a Goose Hala turn 1 for perhaps a Capture Energy, Artisan, and TM Evo to get Torchic up and evolving. A lot of your evolving basics. It works very well because a lot of Fire's basics are just attackers, as we just saw. There's not a whole lot of support really, which makes sense. But I mean, say your evolutions are prized, which often does happen. You also have that turbo energize to attach 4 energies to you and your bench Pokemon any way you like, rather than just the 2 from a regular energize. And I mean, yeah, Crisis Punch is great. It's definitely a 2 prize option at the end of the game. You don't really expect a little bird to be able to win you a game like that, but we've seen what Natu can do, and
Yep.
we're saying, Torchic does a pretty similar thing. And then,
Yeah.
if you're able to find a way to work in blindside, get some damage counters on your opponent's board, that can certainly be used to the fullest potential as well. And
Yeah.
I will say, having the technical machines in your deck does allow for some cool, maybe stalling a little bit with Entei. Like I said, the speed of the format right now, having that Entei is kind of a big dude, just buff spread protection and whatnot. Sitting up front, evolving your basics on your bench can be a pretty daunting wall as well.
Yeah. So, Thomas, do you have a Crisis Punch story? I feel like everyone's got a Torchic Crisis Punch story. And it may be the reason why Crisis Punch continues to make it into some lists. Like the percentage of play, like maybe 1 in every 10 or 15 games, there is even an opportunity to Crisis Punch. But it always makes the cut because I have a Crisis Punch story. Do you have a Crisis Punch story?
Well, it's actually very funny. I have the card in deck and still have yet to use it. I am a firm
Okay.
believer in the
Oh,
folks that have built the deck that it will work out one day. I came close at the 3K a couple times to actually getting the Torchic maneuver off, but some late blunders definitely prevented me from actually achieving it. But I am still a believer, so don't get me wrong. I still think it definitely has a place in this deck.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? Have you ever had yourself a nice little Crisis Punch?
Never actually. So with this version of the deck, never really. It's my Crisis Punch story is more every time I cut it from a list playing this Torchic, I instantly regret it.
You find
Like
yourself in a
the moment
situation to get it?
the moment
oh man.
happens and it's just not in the deck.
Of course. Of
Like the moment
course.
I cut it, the moment happens and I go, no.
Yeah.
It's such a
Let me
necessary evil.
let me tell you, I feel like I've watched more people play around Torchic Crisis Punch than Natu Blindside. I swear to God. Every time the
So
ability is there, someone is in across the table from me is just like, I need to avoid this play. And it's just like, dude,
just let
haters,
me do it.
haters everywhere. Just let me do
Just
it.
let
It's
me
so
do
much
it.
cooler if you just let me do it. Like it's
I'll
all
have you
Let me
know.
knock out the Wailord.
Yeah, I'll have you know at Thursday locals before the Pitch Black 3K, I played Fire and I went 1-4, but I'll tell you right now, my one win was off the back of a Torchic Crisis.
Oh,
attaboy.
So let's just say.
Yeah. Feels awesome. Yeah, and this Torchic, that Omega Barrage, just being able to double down on everything. Evolutions, Turbo Energize, which is one that kind of comes in and out for me. But I mean, just the ability to hyper accelerate 4 energy onto the field sounds too good to
It's
pass
so
up.
good. And it thins 4 cards out of your deck too, like not for
Yep.
nothing. The reason I like Giant Hearth so much, which we'll get into a little bit later, Giant Hearth just thins 2 out each turn that it sticks out, and it's your energy. And if you run Salazzle, it's also a draw, which is pretty rad.
Yeah. All right. So we've covered the basics. Let's talk about what we need to pair with these guys in order to get some good stuff actually happening. So let's talk support Pokemon here. We're going to start it off here. Let's start off with Kev. Kev, talk to me about Salazzle. Why do you like Salazzle?
Oh man, I love this Salazzle card. So in my deck, the Dante's Inferno Fandango deck, which we will get into, but I'd
Oh, we
like
will.
to offer this Salazzle. I remember very early on in my GLC career, I started trying this Salazzle because I just felt like I was wanting a little bit more than the one card from Rapidash. And everybody called me crazy cutting the Rapidash and the Mag Cargo, but this Salazzle is a very serviceable draw engine. You look at something like
Yep.
Solrock and Lunatone, and although this is a stage 1, so it does have to evolve, it's only the one bench space. And I feel like bench space is at such a premium, especially with Parallel running rampant.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, you can't really run Parallel and Fire. I mean, I'm sure you could. I've obviously thought about it, but I just don't think it's ever worth it. So being able to use basically a lunar cycle to get your energy in the discard, draw 3. I mean, it seems pretty good to me, you know.
Yeah.
So
Realistically, I look at this card. This is almost a perfect Pokemon card to me. There's one small flaw in this card that makes it not perfect, which is
100
Why is it
HP.
100
10 HP.
Yeah,
Why is it 100
God, I know.
HP?
It
Why
should
is it 100?
totally be
It should be
level ball.
it should be 90
should
HP.
totally
If
be
you could get this off
90.
You
level
want to know
ball,
what
The yellow
insane.
makes it
border.
hurt more? The last Ninetales printed before the modern era, so the last Heart Gold Soul Silver Ninetales is 90 HP Roast Reveal.
It's so tough,
Oh,
man. Oh,
It's the exact
so
same
good.
ability.
So good.
no.
So, Alex, let's jump over to you and get your opinion here. Mag Cargo is certainly next up, but I feel like I can't introduce Mag Cargo without also introducing its cohort, Rapidash,
Yeah.
the Pony, and the Slug. Talk to me about Pony Slug.
So it's really good. It allows you to be very accurate with your plays, and it gives you just the like it gives you some outplay potential. Now I say some because the issues that I have with it is that you only get the one card a turn, and between half of Fire's card pool forcing you to discard your hand for like everything,
Yep.
And just the amount of times where you need like more than one card. So even because I've played decks with only Salazzle, only Mag Cargo, only both of those, and the fact that only Rapidash isn't really a thing for a reason. So
Yeah.
it also makes it feel bad because when you play them both, you also play less cards that make Mag Cargo alone good.
Yeah.
So it makes you much more fragile to prizing or getting one of them knocked out, along with hand disruption. So that's really my issue with the Pony Slug. It's obviously a very powerful combo. Quick search on 2 stage 1s.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Smooth over,
I just
go grab something, put it right at the top of the deck, and then you use your hurried gate to draw it.
Yeah.
I think the other issue I always seem to have these two main arguments against Pony Slug right now. One, Mag Cargo's rump is way too fat. Way too fat.
Yeah.
This guy
Mag
literally just
As
says,
strong as Mag
"Gust
Cargo
me up
is, it
and
does
I'll
feel
hang
really
there."
bad to put into play.
Yep, this guy feels like it's always getting gusted up. And the other issue I have is that it's 2 pieces, but your opponent still only really has to gust 1 to get the true effect of limiting your ability, limiting your setup. If you take out this Mag Cargo, the 1 card from Rapidash is like inconsequential almost. Like you just always target the Mag Cargo. So
Yeah, unless
God
your name
forbid,
is
God forbid there's a
Weebo.
law zone in play. That would be even worse.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the game's done
Totally.
from that point.
And absolutely mirroring Kev's statement earlier, bench space is at such a premium right now. So filling 2 bench spaces to get this quick this effect is really tough, especially when Parallel City is literally everywhere. So we've got some great options here. I've seen people play Salazzle and Mag Cargo. I can kind of see that, give you a little extra added to your consistency, but I really just feel like Salazzle is kind of all you need. It's where we are right now.
And I've tried lists before where it's just Salazzle and Rapidash. And I mean, it's worked out fine.
I can see that.
Okay. Something to look at, but
yeah, like you said, sometimes you just need to draw cards.
I do think if I'm only playing one, I'm playing Salazzle.
Yeah. So there is one other guy that I feel like should get a little bit of a nod here for the support Pokemon. Thomas, have you had any experience with the Delphi in the room? You got a pair of Delphox that are very close in what they do. The old Delphox Mystical Fire lets you just draw up to 6. But the new Delphox that we just recently got here, it's still discard a basic fire energy, but you get to draw up to 7 cards in hand. Have you played with either of these guys? Have you considered either of these guys as a draw engine?
Definitely have considered them. Haven't personally played with them. I mean, I guess at pre-release I played against the Delphox a few times.
Yeah.
But definitely could see the potential with these guys. Of course, it is kind of the argument of bench space comes into question, and also lots of stage 2 Pokemon. But could definitely see a world where Delphox could fit into the equation.
Yeah.
I think that the older version might actually have a little bit of an edge on the newer version of the Delphox, strictly
agree.
because you do not have to discard that fire energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just never made its way into my 60 because I just feel like I have too many other pieces going on.
Yeah. The fact that it's stage 2 in fire right now is a little prohibitive.
Yes, stage 2 with the do nothing. Stage 1 is rough.
Yeah. Give us
A
some
good
stage 1
breaks in
love.
is all
Yeah.
we need,
Yeah.
man.
So, as we just said, stage 2 is a little prohibitive. So let's dive into the actual stage 2s. These are the guys that we really need in order to help fire be competitive at all. We've got to evolve to get there, folks. We just need that little bit of extra help. So, the big guys here are certainly our Burn Brightly Charizard, doubling all of our basic fire energies. Kev's absolute favorite, the Embor, Mr. Inferno Fandango himself. Fun, nice that we got a strict upgrade from the old one, which is really, really cool. More health, better heat crash. And I'm throwing the Blaziken on the list as well, because it's my list, and I made it. And I love this Kick and Wing. This Kick and Wing is the man. 120 Snipe seems awesome. Kev, what do you like about these stage 2s?
Well, as most of you probably know, because I say it every time we talk about fire, Embor is my favorite Pokemon ever. He's just such a cool guy, and I'm so glad he has a I mean, Rain Dance is a good ability, so we can agree on that, I'm sure.
I would agree.
The Burn Brightly ability is obviously very good. Doubling all your energy with a Rain Dancer in the deck since we play the Embor and Charizard is very good. And I love this Blaziken. Just recently I cut it for that 9th basic energy, but I mean, it's clearly a powerful card. We see Deoxys being played, and the Heatmore is a very similar effect, although I do think the 180 to the bench is a bit better. I mean, 120 to 2 is very good with a Muscle Man, 140 to the active. I think it's a very strong effect. And it also does synergize, like the discard 2 from this Pokemon can synergize with Charizard.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, what's interesting is that when I started doing the Embor Charizard stuff, a lot of people were saying, well, don't you want Magcargo and Rapidash instead of just Salazzle? And the way I see it is the trade-off to be able to play the Charizard is cutting the Magcargo Rapidash for Salazzle. So when people say, oh, is Salazzle really good enough? Is it really better than Magcargo and Rapidash? I say, well, that's not what the comparison is. The comparison is actually Salazzle and Charizard over Magcargo and Rapidash, at least to me.
Yeah.
Because that's where the slots came from, right?
Yeah.
So.
I could certainly see that for sure. And Charizard is someone I'm very high of. I honestly in my building and my experience with fire, I love the Heatmore. I think the Heatmore might be the most powerful thing that fire can do in the format right now. That 90-180 Snipe, that's just the best I think that fire is cooking with. And I think you need the Charizard to do that. I know that if you're running just the Embor, you can put 6 energy on it. I understand all that. But I really think that in order to make that Heatmore work consistently, you need this Charizard to make it happen.
Yeah, I agree with that trade-off that it's the double stage 1 consistency for the only one of those and having 2 stage 2 accelerators. And I am so notoriously, I am not a fan usually of the energy double abilities like Meganium and Grass or Gardevoir and Psychic. That's seeing more play now.
Listen, I think it might be a thing.
The Meganium, maybe. That Gardevoir, man. That's a whole nother video. I could talk an hour about that alone.
So
What are we
I'm
doing?
generally not a believer in them, but I do believe that the deck needs a second accelerator because too many games when I've played a list like this with only Embor, I didn't have that many issues like Julie's seem to have with getting Heatmore out often enough. The issue was how bad prizing could screw over getting my Embor out in time.
Yeah.
So being able to have the option for both of them, I think is important for prizing reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it a little bit more as we kind of talk about the decks and where Fire is finding success right now. But the combination of the Charizard and the Emboar and the ability to loop that heat more and back-to-back turns with something like Alana's Aid is just so powerful. Like, it's
Insane.
insanely powerful. It's the biggest benefit to running both these stage 2s. But these are not the only stage 2s that can make some waves in the Fire deck. Thomas, I want to cue you in here. We're going to add a couple of extra dudes to this graphic here. We got the Skeledirge, the Torcerto Skeledirge. Now, this is just like the 2 cannon, just like the old, who was the V, whatever his name, standard guy that did this, but 60 damage plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon. So hits some really big numbers, does this Skeledirge for sure. But then we've also got the other Blaziken, the Firestarter Blaziken, that can help you recur some energy. You know, this ability that should probably be on a stage 1 Pokemon, on a stage 2 in Blaziken. How do you feel about these guys?
Yeah, so I am a believer in the Dirge for sure. I think I pushed Skeledirge in my Fire deck for at least the first several months that I was playing Fire at the Full Grip locals, and I believed in it, and I still believe in it. I know that we have another local, Fran, who really likes Skeledirge too, so shout out. But
Yeah.
yeah, Dirge is it's definitely one of those cool Pokemon that is again fighting for your stage 2 slot,
Yeah.
but in a deck where you don't necessarily need to accelerate as many energies, so maybe like Sans Embor, we
Mhm.
could probably see a Skeledirge be played or something like that. Um, and then the Blaziken is also a very good Pokemon. I think that it can find its way into some decks, especially because there's so many attackers that Fire have that like to discard their energies into the discard pile.
Mhm.
So it could see some play, but I believe that the other Blaziken with the gray border probably should see more play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. And yeah, honestly, like I love the Firestarter here on this Blaziken. This ability, just put this on the middle evolution, the Combusken.
If I'm telling you right now, if Combusken had like a recharge or a fire starter, like if Combusken was Malamar and Braixen was Zatu, fire really competes. You
Yeah.
know, it's so frustrating, or Zatu or Curlia or whatever you want to call it. I really, really think Fire would be a very similar deck to Psychic, but just has a Rain Dancer. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so crazy to me how much of a difference that Combusken could make.
Yeah,
Now that I think about
it's
it.
kind of crazy that fire is one of the most energy hungry types in the format, and we don't have that stage 1
Mhm.
recharge from the discard or from where, like, we just don't
Well,
really
yeah,
have
like I
that
say,
available right
the
now.
thing I've been saying it forever now. The thing that fire does best, more than any other type, is discard its own basic
Discarding its own
energies.
basic
Let's get them
energies.
back, guys. Like let's put them
Yeah,
back
let's
on the
do something
Pokemon.
with them. Let's get
Yeah,
them.
right.
We got to get them coming and going, man.
Hmm.
All right. So there's also a handful of good fire trainer cards that are in the pool that are very fire specific, that could do some really powerful things. Um, so starting off with a couple of key supporters that we see in a lot of fire decks, we've got Blacksmith, Welder, and personal favorite of mine that doesn't get enough love is Mela. Uh, Kev, how do you feel about the supporter package that we've got available?
I think any fire deck that doesn't play Blacksmith is almost not worth looking at. Blacksmith is
That's a
such a
statement.
necessary card, and the full art looks so freaking cool that there's just no way you don't play it.
Yeah.
Right? I think Blacksmith, especially in the Dante's build of fire, I think there's no way you don't play Blacksmith as well as Raihan. Welder has been a card. I mean, I've been telling you guys for like a week now. I've been dreaming about Welder.
Yeah.
I've been ranting about it to Sydney, to my family, to everybody who will listen. That like, man, I got to find a spot for Welder in my deck. Welder is such a good early game card. I mean, we play so many basic energies in this kind of fire deck where if you could just like attach, even just the one attach, say you attach one or two to an Entei in the active, draw
And
three.
draw
I
3.
mean, Like you've got some real good donking potential, some good attacking potential. If you're having a hard time getting your evolution, your Charizard and Emboar out, I think Welder's a very strong card, and I'd love to get
Yeah.
in there. But Mela, I'm not so sure. I
That's
think
okay.
Mela, like we've talked about Mela in maybe the a pressure type of deck. I know Spence had his list pressure. And I think Mela could have been good in there where you're not drawing as many cards. You might have a lower hand size. Things like, a Swamp Fire deck, another Spence special. Shout out to Spence, by the way.
What up,
Huge fire guy,
Spence?
like the fire guy, right?
Yeah.
So, not sure if we'd be here without him today, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Mela. I think Raihan is just better, especially in a non-mag cargo deck where you can just search out the card
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
get the card you want, and
It's
usually you're able to draw a few more with the Salazzle. So
it's almost crazy a little bit. You'd feel like I always kind of looked at Blacksmith and Welder as like a 1A, 1B type of situation. Like they've both got to be almost equally as good. And you would almost say that the draw 3 from Welder like just makes it a little bit better. There are so many ways to just put 2 energy in your hand, especially with fire as we go down a little bit. You've got professor's letters and fire crystal and energy retrieval and giant hearth. Like Welder's got to find an opportunity, but I always felt like in the game from a turn to turn perspective I could never quite find the perfect lineup for Welder as often as I did for like Blacksmith.
I was going to chime in here that as much as like on paper of these 3 cards, Welder is definitely the strongest. In play, in the format, Welder is the card of these 3 I'm the lowest on. It just
really
doesn't. It's better in like standard format where you can play 4 of them, and you generally play in decks that played this. They played 15 energy and 3 giant hearths and a fire crystal.
So you were just grinding them on.
So yeah, the deck was built to just I'm going to Welder every turn. And when in GLC you can't really afford to build the deck as much around that.
Yeah.
And it's just the deck kind of needs more combos. It's more combo heavy, and needing to have the combo before like your exact supporter being such a massive part of the combo in the way that Welder becomes it. Makes it a lot harder to actually find the combo together.
Yeah.
It's still a very strong card and like good. It's just also the most awkward.
Yeah, I think awkward is the perfect way to phrase it. There's also like this weird anti-synergy with Salazzle specifically, where it's like, do I want to discard this to roast reveal and hopefully I can draw into like a retrieval or a way to get another energy, or now suddenly you're like also kind of committing 3 energy per turn before you even figure out what you're doing a lot of like it always seemed like there were situations where it didn't come together. And again, circling back on something that Kevin said earlier, fire is best at putting its basic energies in the discard pile, which is why Blacksmith is so much more powerful. There are always fire energy there for you to utilize, whereas Welder, sometimes you need to go searching for your energy, and Welder can't search until you have them.
Although I can think of a fire supporter that puts the basic energy in the discard.
Oh,
but not a
don't
whole
you
lot
do
of
it.
people want to talk about Kindler.
Don't you do it.
Kindler deserves more respect. I'm not saying it's good, but I do think Kindler could have a spot in a fire deck that is not like terrible. That's what I'll say.
All right.
That's the fence I'll sit on.
You win a badge.
That was
You win
a lot of qualifiers.
You win a badge with it, and we'll put it on the next.
I you know what, I will.
one.
This next season's fire badge is gonna have Kindler in it.
All right. So let's talk about a couple of other important item cards that that Fire certainly gets: the Fire Crystal and the Fiery Flint. You need to put fire energy cards in your hand for fire to work, and this is what those do. Fire Crystal is an auto include. 3 fire energy from the discard directly into your hand. This feels like a fire card. Great. This does a little bit better than a regular energy retrieval. It doesn't actually cost me anything to use this. I love this card. Fiery Flint, however, is one that I'm lukewarm on. Thomas, I know that you are also playing the Fiery Flint. tell me about Fiery Flint. Do we need superior energy go-getter from the deck?
Well, I think that there is a case to cut Fiery Flint, because if your whole goal is to have Torchic out as fast as possible, you're getting those 4 energies from the deck. That if you have those in your hand, you're not able to make that Torchic play. So that could be a scenario where Fiery Flint might actually have a little bit of a penalty to it. But I've been on and off of Fiery Flint on my fire lists because I think that having the fire energies in your hand feels good if you have. Let's circle back to Welder, but if you're not playing a Welder list, then it's 50-50 for me. You could just as easily maybe add a Earthen Vessel at that slot, and you could still discard a fire energy to, or get an energy to discard that way, or whatever card you want in the discard from that. Find a few energies and get yourself rolling. That's just one of my little points, I guess.
Yeah. I think in my version that I'm running at locals right now, I'm just playing like another energy go get. I think it's like I don't know if I'm playing Earthen Vessel or Energy Retrieval or Professor's Letter.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, I think I'm just playing Letter.
I was gonna say, surely that's mentioned.
Yeah, I
True,
think.
yeah.
Well, I keep assuming because I have Professor's Letter in almost every deck, so I'm like, am I playing something other than Professor's Letter? Is it just no? Just the
I
Letter's
think
fine.
Fiery Flint is better.
I honestly, I'm more concerned about the fact that you had to discard 2 cards.
See, so just in Heatmore lists specifically, I have gone through the cycle of wanting to cut Fiery Flint, and then you play a bunch of games and go, oh, I didn't TM Energize with Torchic this game, or find Hearth early. Okay, teammates for Fiery Flint.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I think it's fine, especially this deck just plays so many ways to discard like cards that need discards that I think it's fine to have a card that in some games just like isn't gonna be used when in a decent enough, like in about, I'd say probably like 30 to 40% of games, this is how I'm ripping most of my energy out of my deck.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
that's
it's
fair.
And then in those other 60-70%, it's really good superior energy retrieval or giant hearth discard fodder.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Or Ultra Ball. So like it the discards can get rough. But I think it's just such a high power spike on the turn that you play it, that it's worth it.
I can see that. All right, fair. Let's talk about a couple of awesome stadiums that Fire gets. And these are great. These are effects that feel very specific to Fire right now, but are
Yes.
got
I'm
great,
sorry, I think
great flavor.
I think we just need to take 10 seconds and look at this trainer lineup and
Mm.
recognize that 4 of them are from Sun and Moon, and also any other type that had this lineup would probably be BDIF.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And look, the funniest thing is that all of the cards on the screen right now are all yellow border cards. The only one that's not is the Mela, and it's the one that we are all mutually like the lowest on.
About Mela.
But yeah, Giant
My
Hearth,
house yellow border.
being able to discard a card from your hand, go get 2 fire energies. Fire needs energies early and often. This is a stadium that I am almost like always going to get off of an early Guz Mahala. I just want to get those fire energies out of the deck. Let's go get Giant Hearth. And then Magma Basin is great. Little energy acceleration. It costs 20 damage to do it, but that's totally fine. Sometimes you just need that extra little boost to get you over. Being able to set back up Chi Yus in one go is great. But even Magma Basin is a card that's not seeing a ton of love right now.
Yep, I think the way I see it is in the Dante's list, we have 4 stadiums. Or Alex, I know you have 3, but I have 4 stadiums. I've got Training Court, Artisan, Silent Lab, and Giant Hearth. So the way I see it is, and people call me crazy when I cut the Magma Basin for Giant Hearth as well. But I mean, Giant Hearth, the way I see it is just like you said, Joel, it is a great early stadium too.
Mhm.
you start thinning out the cards out of the deck, and you start attaching and roast revealing and whatnot. It's the way I see it is like it's kind of getting the fire started, right? Like
Yep.
this hearth is going to turn into the big flame that the fire deck can finally, like, we know the potential that the fire deck has, and this giant hearth is part of the start of that, like, spark, right?
Yep.
And you get your energies, you get an attachment, like maybe even you're going for a Chi-Yu Flare Bringer a little earlier in the game than expected. The Flare Bringer attack is very powerful as well. So
Mhm.
even if you discard a fire energy, go get 2, and you have Salazzle up, so that's draw 3, and you can attach it to your Pokemon. I just think Giant Hearth is such a strong
I
stadium, and Magma Basin certainly is too. But the decision for me was between the two, and I pick Giant Hearth every time.
Yeah, Giant Hearth just has insane synergy. I will also give Giant Hearth these extra little bit of flowers as well, because I can't tell you how many game scenarios I've been in where I have done this. And I go, okay, I'm going to use my Fire Crystal. I'm going to use my Superior Energy Retrieval. I'm going to put a bunch of Fire Energy back in hand. I can't use all of them, but I can use a couple of them, and I'll theoretically still have 1 or 2 left in hand afterwards. But I've got Giant Hearth down, so suddenly I'm not as stressed about having to find my Fire Energy for Salazzle next turn. So even if my opponent gets a hand disruption off, my Giant Hearth is in play. So I know whatever you Iono me to or Marnie me to, I will get to discard a card and go get those Fire Energies back. So a little defensive ability in there. Giant Hearth is just so synergistic. I love it.
I agree.
So yeah, I mean, those are some great cards, but let's talk about what's really kind of bringing fire down, which is what else does fire really get access to? Let's just take a minute and wonder why this is the best that we have. Alex, you brought up a great point when we were talking about this earlier. I would love for you to reiterate that point here about these.
Why is the newest card on the screen by a very significant margin the worst?
Just terrible. Terrible. Like
Recycle, but only if it's discarded by an attack. That could have been jet energy, but fire. That'd be so cool.
Right? Like
Jet energy.
give this any other ability, like literally on any other energy card in the game right now, and it's better. This is just horrible. This is horrendous. Burning Scarf, like, yes, I know that we're trying to make burn happen. I don't know, man. This just doesn't do enough or anything. Burning energy, heat energy maybe is the closest to being playable just because of
like
the extra
heat energy
20
a lot.
HP buff. But the problem is that it's not a basic fire energy. So
Yeah.
you can't discard it to Salazzle, and it doesn't get boosted with Charizard, and you don't get to attach it for free with Ember. Like, it just doesn't do the stuff that I need for my energy to do in this deck. So, yeah, moment of peace.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Nitro Energy also from the same set that Telepathic came out?
Don't remind
So,
me.
I think it's one set after.
It's one set
I
after.
believe.
well,
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same cycle though.
yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy that they would. There's just so much purple love compared to the fire love. We just
totally
need just a
agree.
little bit more help out here. Maybe Joel, weren't you saying something potentially about maybe like a double energy for fire?
Oh, I think what fire really needs, TPCI, if you're listening, please just give us this. I think this is great. This is fair. Fire needs a double fire energy that attaches and gets discarded at the end of turn. So much of fire's good attacks right now cost 3 energy. So we need a little bit of help in order to get to that 3 energy limit. Just give us like the triple energies in colorless. Give us that, only it's 2 fire energies and it gets discarded at the end of turn. Most of our fire attacks will discard it anyway to get maximum value, but it allows that little bit of extra ramp that I think fire deserves. Give us that. Come on.
Joel, I think I strongly disagree. Like, this is just asking for more mid here. Just attach a basic with Charizard and then don't discard it.
I'm
Is
saying
how I feel.
you don't always have the
Like,
Charizard.
I think Alex hit the nail on the head by saying like a jet energy. If this Nitro said move the bench fire Pokemon you attach this to the active, that would be sick. We could have gotten something like Firestarter Energy. If this energy is in the discard pile, you may attach it to one of your benched fire Pokemon. That would have been awesome. Although I'm not sure if that's like even possible. Just saying something like that would have really fit the bill for Fire more.
Yeah.
I think Nitro Energy is just lame, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as good as Burning Energy, which is like an XY card. So
Yeah.
that's a little frustrating.
Or give us like a fire recycle energy. Just let it keep coming
Sure.
back.
Sure, I guess.
Just let it keep coming back. You know, I don't know if we'll play it, but either way, we've spent enough time on these jokers, so let's get out of here. So it's time to actually start talking about complete decks, complete thoughts, complete ideas that have had success from Fire, and of course, listen, I put this together. I'm the host. I'm the host with the most. I'm gonna glaze a little bit. I brought Fire to NAIC Switch Series last year in 2025 with my little Fire Snipe deck that I put together. Now, keep in mind, I brought this to the first event, the first major event. There was 180 players at NAIC. The first set after Wailord released, I brought this deck. So you know I was standing on business. I was like, I know that Wailord is going to be everywhere. I'm rocking this list. I did go 4-3 with it. Seems to be a running theme with Fire. But it had a couple of the elements, almost, actually, now that I look at it, outside of a handful of dudes, it's almost completely opposite to what we are doing with Fire right now with Dante's Inferno. I am running the Pony and the Slug at the time. I was running the Ninetales so that I could take out some bench barriers. I had the room for Volcanion. I was running the Skeledirge. Gouging Fire got a nod. But I was running that Blaziken. This is right after the Blaziken came out as well. So this is what, at the time, I thought I could be doing the best with Fire. And I will say, as rough as that tournament was, because I went Psychic, 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 Water, 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 Grass. So I got a little.
Hey, end on a strong note.
I got a little reprieve at the end, but so yeah, it was a day. But I did win my first water matchup of the day with Torchic, Crisis Punch, KO a Wailord, KO a Frigibax for game. I felt like a god. I felt like I had won. It was like round 4. I was like, we've peaked. This is as best as I could do. Alex, you've been around for a couple of seasons now. Can you think back to where Fire was before we started cooking what Fire has become today? Like, how have we gotten here?
Well, in the first full grip season, I got a Fire badge, and that was with Weeder's old Extreme Speedless playing. Grand Flame Arcanine had Charizard in it and Heatmore. And even back then, I'm still not a big, never have been a big fan of Charizard because just the way Hex interacts with it. But and yeah, it just was really trying to leverage my cargo. It's just, but even before that, it's always just kind of been try and use the trainers, the powerful trainers that we have in Charizard to try and deal with the crazy energy costs we've been given.
Yeah. It's just been tough. Fire's been slim pickings. I made room for a lot of newer cards in this deck, and it was a deep uphill battle, and I ran super hot, super hot, to even get to that 4-3. So that was a little over a year ago. This is what we had, but now it's time to get into the real meat and potatoes of why we're here today. The crux, the reason that brought us together, which is the Kev and Carp joint, Dante's Inferno Fandango. And I love this deck. So let's kick it off. Kev, tell me about Dante's Inferno Fandango. How did this start coming together? Where did the evolution of this deck come from?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it all started about a year and change ago when I started playing GLC. And it's funny because you show your deck from NAIC, and I'm pretty sure I had not played GLC before NAIC, or maybe like a week. Maybe I started a week before you guys
It was
went.
like shortly after or right around, yeah.
Yeah, right around when you got back from NAIC is when I started playing. And I mean, I'm just like I said, I'm an Emboar guy, so I'll build fire. And I was told, yeah, just build your favorite type, everything will be good. I didn't know how bad of a direction that was,
You were
but
lied to.
I sure was. But yeah, so this is just the deck. I mean, you can see it on the Cardboard Warriors website with the evolutions of it. A very early version of the deck shows like the Flare Command Pyroar. I did have the cast form in there for a while, Mag Cargo. It was just a heap of junk. I had energy pouch in there. I remember in my first webcam tournament, I learned
Oh
about what
yeah.
Wishful Baton was. I didn't know the card Wishful Baton existed, so I had energy pouch in my deck. I had stuff like Fighting Fury Belt, Bridget, Heavy Ball, all things that I don't play anymore. I had Tate and Liza in there. Um, and then yeah, I mean, the deck has been ever evolving, and I think the name is awesome. Like I really, really like.
Uh,
I don't know why I
that
get
is
so pumped, but
that is a
like
great name.
Dante's
I will
Inferno
100%
Fandango is
I will
just such a cool
100%
name.
glaze you for that name. That's a great name.
Such a cool name, and there's a story in Dante's Inferno about the three beasts, and I think it's funny. Like the theme of the deck has always been three good attackers in Chiyu, Entei, and either Heatmore or Gouging Fire. There's always been three beasts of attackers, so I think that's a cool thing. And I mean, you can see all the recovery in this deck list, and the one circular theme that's always been a part of the deck. The central theme has been recyclability. And I think this deck does it best. And once I started adding that Charizard, which a funny story is, maybe some of you know, the Chinese exclusive Pokemon Go Charizard art, since it's banned in China, it has a cool alternate art that I got the card at a card show for $1. And I was like, you know what? What if I just threw this into the deck because it's too cool of a card not to play?
Yeah.
And it turns out pretty good card.
Pretty sick.
So yeah, I mean, we've talked a million times already today about what the deck can do. You got the Torchic in there, the no combustion with the Blaziken, and the Torchic something I always knew about, but I will give total props to the Turbo Blaze guys and Ghouls and Spence specifically when they were coming out with the Pig Pony Slug deck. I remember like a week or two before they revealed it, we were just talking about it, and I think the Torchic package is just so strong, and the special energies. Shout out to Ghouls for this jet energy. It's just such. I know the use case is not super high, but when you need that jet energy, I just think it's so strong. And I look back to like what Ghouls and Spence said about the special energies, and I was not convinced in the beginning. And I think once I started looking at like the Charizard in my deck is when I really started to realize that the special energies in the Goose Hala package was really, really strong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, we've got a bunch of recovery, bunch of search, just a bunch of power cards, right? Like you've got so many power cards in here, and it's just running hot. You just got to run hot, and if you run
Got to
cold,
run
the fire
hot.
will go out. Is what I'll say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Alex, I know that you also have worked with Kev on this a lot. I mean, he talked very regularly about how you and him were going back and forth with ideas and concepts. What is it about this deck that really makes it so powerful? What is it that allows this deck to compete in the format right now?
The fact that it just heat more after heat more after heat more. On top of, if you get a heat more up, um, it's your board becomes really safe because assuming you have both stage twos up and you're attacking with heat more, even like if they gust one of the stage twos, then you're still attacking with heat more.
Yeah.
Um, that sort of stuff, and the other ways you can kind of pressure stuff by threatening, like the Crisis Punch, or when we had the Blaziken the Blaziken attack. And Entei can do just unreal damage. I've done it to Thomas on a Thursday one week when I was playing this, where he put a Lux Cape on an Italian and assumed it was safe. Entei said no.
Don't
Yeah.
remind me.
Uh,
Bad beats.
and
Kev's got a
he was
couple of those
really,
compliments of me.
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I mean, there are some changes that I had because, I mean, I did talk with Kev. Oh, I think it was like 8 months ago or something. There was a point where I was really into playing online, and Kev had started playing this online. I looked at it, and it was interesting, but he hadn't had the Charizard in yet, or the TM Evo stuff, I don't believe.
Mhm.
Um, but then it kind of left my mind, and then before, not this last 3K, but the one before that, when he came and went 4-1 at our locals with the list, and I was casting. I really
Yeah.
looked at the list, and he had some changes that have already been made in
Yeah.
this version of it, where he had Hex instead of Silent Lab, which between being a non-bow with Charizard and just let like you don't have play a way to recover Silent Lab, but you just need to be able to use your supporter to search your out to bench barrier as much as I wish it could be Hex,
Mhm.
because it is just kind of a better card. Silent Lab is kind of just what you have to go with by the way the deck works. The Avery, he did not have the Avery in there, and I think especially when you have to go Silent Lab over Hex, the pressure Avery puts on a board when you're about to attack with Heatmore is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when they have to start guessing whether you have Silent Lab or not to keep their bench barrier. It really makes it's how with fire you get your opponent to start asking questions. And it's just when it works, it feels great, and it's so much fun to play.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anytime you get to use a heat more, you feel great. And anytime you get to use a heat more, have it get knocked out, and then playing Lanazade to put it and 2 energies back in your hand, then dropping a training court and hitting with heat more again, you're like, how do I lose? I'm winning. I feel like
Now
like
that is something I personally though do. He still has training court. I prefer energy retrieval in that slot.
okay.
Training court is a little bit more searchable, kind of in the list. But I just get tired of at the end of the game having to go hand disruption against a psychic or a fighting list and
Yeah.
not being able to bump my own training court.
Mm.
Especially when usually I do want more than the 1 energy back at a time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely
Yeah,
fair.
and I think another edit to keep note of is it currently, as of August 3rd, I do have the Blaziken cut for a 9th basic, which I believe Alex also has, as well as
Shh.
Thomas.
Yes.
So
Spoilers.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah,
The
until we
9th,
find
yeah,
a slot for Combuskin, I am not willing to put Blaziken back in the list.
that's fair.
I
I
think
would even go
relying
as
on
far to
Candy
say,
for it is just uh, not sustainable.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. I think I would even go as far to say like 9 has always been the count, and doing 8 has been super greedy. So I think 9 is just like we're going back to what it should be anyway. So
Yeah. So now that we've cheated up, let's get Thomas in here and talk about his success. Now, Thomas, you are here because you are the homie who was like, I'm gonna run this fire deck to the full grip 3K and had great success with it. 4-3 result, best fire deck of the day. This is your update to the Inferno Fandango list. Notably, it's almost completely identical, but the switch seems small but has a huge impact, which is the Blaziken has come out for a basic fire energy. How did you settle on this as the 60 going into the event? And tell us a little bit more about the event and how it went, the games you played, the matchups, the situations you saw. Like, open the floor. I'm ready.
Sure. First, I just want to thank Alex and Kev for setting this whole thing up for me. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do or have the same success that I did without them cooking this list up. So thanks to both of them. I've been playing GLC for a little under a year, so I don't necessarily have as much experience as some of these folks. It's actually my first time playing cards. Um, so it's kind of been a learning process for me throughout this entire GLC format. I started playing Fire specifically to GLC locals here in Akron after I realized that Tricky Jim and the folks at Full Grip were pretty close to my house. I didn't even realize how close it was. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start going. And then for the first like 4 months, I just played fire cards. That's all. That's
Awesome.
literally all I did. I heard I was like, Oh, fire. It's supposed to be really bad. Well, I'm going to prove everybody wrong and make it be really good. And after a lot of 1-4 nights and 2-3 nights and maybe even a few 0-5 nights, I had to just retire it. But fire still holds a very, very dear part of my heart because it's definitely my favorite type. So
Yeah.
I was more than excited to use it when it came to the 3K, especially after they announced the cool promo cards that were going to be given to each type or each person who had the best
The
performing
best results of
for
the
each
type.
type.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So it was
go
just
ahead.
real quick, just before you hop in. It's funny because it sounds like you and Kevin are like a yin and yang type scenario. You're both fire lovers, but Kevin played fire because he didn't know any better. It sounds like you knew better and you were going to play fire anyway. So
Yes.
I think that's a
Very stubborn, but it ended up working out for me, so it's cool.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you stuck with it. I wasn't so strong. I said, all right, three months of 04, give me RDT and give me a badge. And then that night, yep, sure enough.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, super respect.
that feeling has definitely gotten to me. So I don't necessarily have the same accolades as y'all either. So I guess I'm going to try to put this or frame this from somewhat of a newer player's perspective, but also just um, someone who brought a deck that they weren't necessarily familiar with, but they knew the potential in it. So I was excited to try it out. Um, I've seen Torchic being used in a lot of fire lists, and I had actually never used it before this event. So it was very fun to actually get off a few of the technical machine plays. I had quite a few games where I was able to both turbo energize and TM evolution twice. So it was actually pretty crazy.
Nice.
But yeah, the at the 3K, I made sure I stopped and said hello to the guys in the morning and said, this is where we're at, and I cut the Blaziken specifically. I was looking at Kev's most recent list. I saw that he had cut the Blaziken. I was talking to a buddy overnight about whether or not I should keep the Blaziken or cut it, and I didn't really feel like in my testing games I was finding the Blaziken as much as I wanted to, and then also I was using my rare candy on like my other stage twos. So
Yeah.
by the time it was basically either a discard fodder or like it was just too late for me. So that's why I kind of veered away from Blaziken. But
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a great card. Um,
Yeah, that's certainly
but
a good cut because I will also say it almost sounds weird to say, but cutting the Blaziken, which is a low probability play, it feels a little bit win more if you do get your Evo early, and then now you have an extra rare candy that you can evolve up to the Blaziken. But cutting it for something that's more consistent sounds like a good play. It just so happens that in Fire, some of the best consistency you can get is just from a basic Fire energy card. So you cut it
exactly.
for consistency in your energy package. So I think we've all kind of mutually agreed like that is the right call. So great call there.
And it didn't feel like I was missing any sort of attackers during the games where I was actually able to get my moves off. So I'll just go through. I actually wrote down a little bit about each of my rounds
Yeah.
from Pitch Black 3K. On my first round of the day, I ran into Clayton Garofalo. I think he goes by Venoms or
I know,
on.
yeah.
That's right. He was running the Turbo Blaze water deck that everyone was, or that the Turbo Blazers were pushing this past event, and definitely did not perform well. I don't even remember the game to tell you the truth because I did so poorly. I think it was like a maybe 5-minute affair where just nothing burger happened. But of course, you start the day off, you run into water, and then you think to yourself, man, is this going to be my luck for the day? Am I just going to, just piddle out and have no shot at all to try to get this Salazzle promo. And luckily, I was able to turn it around in round 2. I actually played Joseph Novak. I believe he top 8'd a recent 3K. He was running a colorless list. I believe he had the Silvally, which was slightly different than all the Toucanon decks running around right now. I don't even know if he was playing Toucanon. I think he has some sort
No,
of
he was playing like
vendetta
this.
against it. But I remember there was a misplay that happened. It may have been with an energy or something to that effect, where Joseph was actually found himself getting sniped twice in a row by Heatmore and I was able to take multiple prizes. Almost rolled into like a match where it got neck and neck at the end, but I was able to sweep with Entei towards the very end. It's a very strong attacker, especially if you're able to loop the Chi-Yu Entei combo. It's definitely pretty cool. My third round, so I was 1-1 after that. I played another fighting deck against Lisa Ashbaugh. This was another case of a Heatmore Snipe game. I think this was a fairly quicker game. They were playing a fighting list that was not. I don't think it was RDT. There was like a Koraidon in the list and a couple other cool cards. But I remember talking to Kev right before the event, and he was telling me, you know what type you don't want to face? It's fighting type. Fighting type that wipes the board.
Yeah.
And I will. I'll give a little preview. I was able to beat fighting multiple times during the day, so I was very proud of myself for getting past that little hurdle.
Such a beast.
I remember the next round I was feeling good. It's like I'm 2-1 on fire. I by that point I believe I had learned there was either 3 or 4 total fire players in the room. So I knew what my competition was looking like. I started to like pick out, oh, this person's playing fire, this person's playing fire, and I'm getting the gauge of where I'm at. And here comes round 4, go into a fighting matchup. I believe I had Charmander in the active and a Hisuian Heavy Ball in hand and no other search. So it's just like, well, pray that I don't get donked.
Please have a dude in the prizes for me.
Yes. Hisuian Heavy Ball whiffed, and I passed. And of course, my opponent was able to string together the Lunatone, Soul Rock, got it into the active and just hung on to me. So that game did not feel the best. But sitting at 2-2 was still feeling pretty confident. I had a feeling that like if I could make it to 4 wins, I had a decent shot of getting the Salazzle card. So at this point, my hopes were still high. Things were going great. And I ran into Drew Wakefield. This is a player that I've ran into in a few 3Ks before in the past. And he was playing a T-Rex fighting deck. And it was very intimidating. He had Dogi out early, and I believe he was taking some knockouts. But I remember at the end of the game, or one of the pivotal points, there's a Tyrantrum in the active, and my only play was to basically juice up Entei on the bench to take a knockout. But I was like, oh man, if he has any special energy, I think I just lose this game because that extra hit points would be so bad to try to get past for the matchup. But I believe he prized one of his special energies, and the other ones were looped onto Dogi. So by the time that Tyrantrum was up, I actually was able to attach, I think it was 6 energies to Entei in order to take the knockout.
Just bowl him over.
It was just wild.
Yeah.
and was able to just cruise to a little victory after that.
So
But
cool.
it was a very, very
Nice.
close game. And
Listen,
so I'm 3-2. I'm 3-2.
yeah.
It's
So I mean, and realistically, everyone kind of knows if you've played Fire, some of your wins just come down to luck. You just have to hope that your opponent misses it. You need every edge
that's
that
right.
you can get. Like, I just got to hope that you miss this long enough and get there. But the ability to capitalize off those misses is really the key element. So good. All right.
100%.
We're doing good. We're in the positive column.
We're in the positive column, and then I get matched up against someone named Sydney Staples. I'm like, who's Sydney?
Well.
Sid Vicious.
And it was interesting. I look across at my opponent. I'm like, wait a second, isn't this like Kevin's girlfriend? And I was like, oh crap, this is the person that I don't know if I want to be playing this person right now, because this person's probably play tested against this deck a million times before, and
More than
I'm
her
pretty
fair
sure I
few
was
for
correct.
sure.
Oh,
That's
man.
right. So I will say I did make a massive misplay during this game, and I want to highlight it for anyone who's listening. There's some circumstances where you are able to snipe and take some easy knockouts with Heatmore, but sniping the right target can be a game changer. I remember against Sydney, I think Giratina was on the bench or Giratina was in the active, one of the two. It already had some damage counters on it. And then Boulder was being set up, but Zatu was there and Curlia was there and a bunch of other like setup mons. I think an Inkay was there too. So I decided, okay, I'm going to knock out the active Giratina and I'm taking the Boulder as well because I don't want any follow-up nastiness plays, taking any knockouts. I was getting greedy with Heatmore. And essentially what I learned that day and why I lost was there was so many more plays that you can make with purple cards, I guess, with recovery and just getting your guys back.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't even think about how fast they can get a Gallade set up or get Iron Boulder back out so quickly. Giratina revives itself. In the moment, sometimes you're not even thinking about that stuff, but it's like, oh, geez. So I definitely chose the wrong targets and lost because of it. Just couldn't get my board state back to a point that was attacking after I
Right.
lost my Heatmore.
And another thing I'll say is that you also matched in to someone who's playing Psychic, playing a deck that, like, for the most part, I was like, we don't need a bench barrier in. Surely there's no like fire running around, right? But the person playing that Psychic deck with no bench barrier also has probably the most reps in GLC. Like everybody who plays GLC. Sydney and I lived together last year because it was our senior year of college, and I think we must have played 500 games of Fire into Psychic. Like maybe
Wow.
not 500, but quite
But
quite
like a
a
lot,
few.
like
So you must have
regularly.
matched in. I mean, you definitely matched into one of like the 3 people in the room who knew what the deck did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
that
And I
them's
felt
are
that.
also just the breaks. That's so crazy.
It was funny. At this point, I remember being like, all I'm trying to do is get the four wins. All I'm trying to do is get 4 wins. And I look at the table beside me while I'm playing Sydney, and it's also Fire. And I think John
Oh.
Patterson is playing beside me at that point too.
Yes.
And I remember John wins, so I'm like, okay, we're clear. And I was like, John, what's your record, real quick? And I'm pretty sure he had a half, or he had like a,
He had
I
a
don't know if
tie.
he was, yeah, he had a tie. I think he was at 2.5 or maybe 3.5. I forget at this point. So I was like, okay, I think I'm doing okay. I think I still have a shot of winning the Salazzle after losing to Sydney. And the tension in the air was palpable for sure. You could see that there was one other player that was on Fire. I think that they were on a burn list.
Fire. I
Is
believe
that
they were on
correct,
a
Alan?
mill list.
I think it
Oh,
was the
they're on
Fire
mill?
Mill with
Okay.
the Chandelier, the Alluring
Oh,
Draw
that's
or
right.
Alluring Light or whatever. The one that draws each player draws a card.
Yes, and that player I had realized at that point was also 3-3. So the stress levels were immense.
Mhm.
But I remember getting to the table, uh, sitting down. It's against Chris Watterson. I believe he's one of the folks from the Indiana crew that come out.
Mm.
Um, he has brought fighting before, and he brought fighting again.
Mm.
And I just remember playing and having the scenario where I'm getting all of my stuff set up, and he is just not drawing any basic energies for the life of him. I swear it was like 5 to 8 turns of just no energy, no energy, no energy.
He could use a
So I was
fiery
able.
flint.
That's right,
Yeah, I bet you wish you had that.
for sure. Um, and so I was able to take a couple early knockouts with, like, I believe Entei and maybe a heap more once. But by the time he found some energies, his board was already set up pretty well. Like, I'm pretty sure he had the Barbarical set up, the Dogi was down. I don't remember if Terrakian was there, but I'm pretty sure it was. Just general good stuff fighting. And he brought it back for sure. And I noticed there's like a crowd forming around me of a lot of the full grip locals. They're
Pressure's
they're definitely
on.
interested. Yep, for sure. And my final play was um, a Salazzle in the active as my only Pokemon with an air or like the float stone or the U-turn board. I forget which one. That's the only thing. And I had a rescue stretcher in hand, and I top decked Blacksmith
Oh man.
for the win.
Oh,
So I was able
Wow.
to bring TU back, get it up into the active,
Oof.
and take out the damaged Okidogi that
Wow.
awesome.
had taken. It
So
took
awesome,
120
man.
the previous turn
Oh,
from Embor. So I was
and
able
Wow.
that doesn't even start to say how poetic it was. So it was attack with Embor, and then going into that top deck, his board was Lone Salazzle.
Oh man.
Awesome.
Also, that other fire person going into it, I remember they had a tie because I talked with John afterwards, because also again, John Patterson hit the other two fire players the last
Oh,
two rounds and
oh
beat them
man.
both
yeah.
to
So
help.
Did the work.
all
Thank
credit
you,
goes to
John.
John.
Yeah,
Yep.
Uh,
John
Credit goes to John,
and
Blocker.
the
then
goat. Is the greatest of all time. Definitely partial victory to him. I hope that he enjoys that he played a big part in my run. But
Hell yeah.
it was
and then
very fun from start to end. I think the awards ceremony was, or like the presentation for like the cards,
Oh
was super
man.
cool because like
Crazy.
the whole room was like lit up, super
Dude, that was
excited.
the loudest pop off for any type. Oh man, and you came
Yeah.
over to me after my game, like my game ended. I was like, "Hey, did you get it?" And you were like, "Yeah." Dude, I literally could not be more happy for an achievement in GLC that day, no matter who won the 3K, no matter what. That was such an awesome moment. And when Natalie was announcing all the types, I just remember how different the fire pop off was. Everybody went ham for you, bro. Like that, you were the friggin' man of the hour to me of that 3K.
I was fighting hard, and I was surprised, but also, not surprised because y'all built this incredible list that does super well for fire. I mean, going 4-3 at a 3K is nothing to scoff at. So
I agree,
I
especially with
definitely,
Yeah.
fire. So I mean, that's certainly a statement towards you as a player too. So I mean,
you
I
know,
hope you give yourself credit.
it might actually be my best result at a 3K, which is crazy. But
That's pretty
That's a
awesome.
like
damn
I
good
said, I'm still
result, man.
newer. Yeah. But I did want to go over a couple last little notes on like some things that I thought about the deck in
Yeah,
general.
please, for sure.
When it's running fast, it is the fastest fire deck, in my opinion.
Yep.
I've tried other, forms of fire, like low energy fire with like the dirge, or just in general good stuff basics. More of the gouging fire or the mole trace or stuff like that.
Yep.
But this deck, as long as you draw into the right cards, which I guess goes for every deck, it is much faster than anticipated. Like you get that TM Evo off in the first couple turns, and you're basically neck and neck with some of the top competing decks or top competitive decks, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
sometimes I feel like fire is so slept on that people don't necessarily even know what some of the cards do, and they don't necessarily see it coming. I know more than once I had to explain, the Entei's ability where it's
Yep.
prevents damage or takes 20 damage from every Pokemon, not just the active. Or, oh, what does the Heatmore do? Oh, the Heatmore is your worst nightmare. So
Mhm.
it's like some of these cards are very cool, very fun, slept on.
Yeah,
I
I
think
will. I will also say, I have on more than one occasion while playing Fire, explained to somebody what Charizard does, and then shortly after explained to them what Heatmore does, and still have them not put it together until I hit them with the Heatmore, and they're like,
Yeah,
"But
that's
Exactly.
definitely true.
wait, what? Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, Charizard doubles them
Mhm.
all. That's your 6. Take the 180. Bye bye." And they're like, "Oh, people don't
by
forget after the first time you hit them though."
Mhm.
and then, by then it's way too late.
Way
So
too
A
late.
you're
hundred
definitely
percent.
correct. Um, just echoing a point that folks have talked about today, Welder might be good for draw
Mhm.
specifically. There were a couple times where I had dead hands, or maybe I
If
think at
Welder
least
took
one
cards
game.
first, it'd be insane. It would be
Yeah.
auto included.
Oh, for
Mhm.
sure. Um, there was at least one game where I had Salazzle prized, and definitely does not feel good if you're not churning through the deck. This
Yeah.
deck
Mhm.
definitely needs speed. You need to see as many cards as possible. So I definitely kind of like to echo those points of Welder would be a cool card. And then just as a last little thing, retreat tools slash like things to get yourself out of the active. Sometimes you get stuck, especially with Emvor, especially with
Yeah.
Charizard. And
That's
if
cool.
you just don't have, there are just scenarios where I kind of just was looking at my opponent, just waiting for them to do whatever the heck they wanted to do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Because
feel that for sure.
it's like I can't really do much. I guess I could try to, get my Chi-Yu up and ready for the revenge attack that is bound to happen. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs around and just saying,
Yeah,
well,
I
let's
hear that.
pray we can roll into something. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I get that. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
but
been
yeah,
I get that. I think my 61st card is honestly escape rope for the list.
Yeah,
I can
that's
see
fair.
that. Yeah.
Scoop up net as well.
I've been
it is.
I've been actively playing Fire, essentially my version of this list for the last several weeks, and the one thing that I keep coming back to in terms of how I play the deck is I fight against committing this floatstone for as long
Yep.
as humanly possible. I've seen so many scenarios where it's just like Gus the Charizard, Gus the Emboar, and I know that especially as a GLC player who's been playing for a while, you're always kind of afraid that if you don't commit the pivot tool, you're going to get Ionoed or hand disrupted and it's going to go away and then you'll have to find it again. But I do not attach that floatstone until I absolutely have to. I would rather have it go back in the deck and have me go get it later than commit it to like having to commit it to the Salazzle feels terrible.
I agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to once again thank the both of Alex and Kev and anyone else who inputted on that list. It's definitely been the most fun I've had playing Fire, and I would definitely recommend it for anyone who is looking to try out Fire in a serious way. So
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, dude, I can't thank you enough for playing it and showing everybody what the deck actually does. Such a cool accolade.
Yeah, for sure. Congratulations, man. But I'll tell you this right now. I'm coming for that next fire card, that next top trainer card. Oh, I want to commit to Fire, because I love Fire. So great wrap up. Thank you so much for sharing what you found. We're certainly running a little long, so I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. I appreciate you if you're still watching, you're still listening, wherever you're listening to us. We're gonna try to wrap up with some other good things. Even though I mean, the fire pool is pretty big, and there's a lot of other cards that we think are right on the cusp of being great for fire. These are cards that are on the right track and just haven't quite found a home yet, but do some really powerful things. Alex, I'd love to get your take. Talk to me about some cards that you think are right on the cusp here of being very relevant in the meta.
I think there's something with the damage buff guys, especially the Torrid Scales Volcarona.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to give, like, Muscle Band is such a great card in the format. I think being able to give 20 more damage that also, if it's what gives you the knockout, doesn't proc Raihan and teammates, is something that's really strong.
Very
Um,
relevant.
yes. And just like the fire guys especially are all like that, just barely not quite hitting enough. Like Chiyu hits 140, which is good. 150 or 160 would be great.
Yeah.
Uh, so the heat boost and flare symbol and torrid scales are all cards that can like really help fix that. It's just a matter of figuring out the list. I
Yeah.
think.
Uh, Kev, who do you want to talk about on the right track?
You know, there are a few Victini cards where I'm like, man, if this was just like a little bit better. This new Victini from Black Bolt and White Flare, um, I think it has potential. I've tried it before. It's 80 HP, which is like the dumbest. It's 80 HP one retreat. It's the dumbest thing I've
Ugh.
seen. If it was profitable, I think it could be a very serviceable attacker.
Yeah. Get this guy
I mean,
with
Parallel
coffin.
hurts, Avery hurts, but I mean, I don't. I could see that being a decent attacker in a few decks. There's also the Flippity Flap Victini, which I played for quite a while. It has Flippity Flap, Shuffle, Draw, 5 or 6. I can't even remember, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it also has a 1 for 30 attack, 1 fire energy, 30 damage, and it does discard a special energy off your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you've damaged an Okidogi with a Chiyu, and you don't have the Silent Lab, or you want to save it for a Heatmore or whatever. Really whatever have you. You could just discard it with the Victini, so I guess that could be serviceable.
Yep.
And I really do like the Flare Command Pyroar, just a boss on the discard when it's attached.
Yeah.
So much synergy with the Embor. Even Blacksmith or Raihan could be really strong. I did have it in my original list, but I'm not sure I have the room for it now. So, but I do think it definitely has a place in fire. I think it has a lot of synergy with Magma Basin as well, and
Yeah.
the flare or the fire starter Blaziken. I think it definitely has a place in a fire deck somewhere, and I think it's a great card.
Yeah, I mean, right now you look at cards like Hariyama and Hops Dubwall and the effect that
Mm-hmm.
they're having on the format as a whole. The ability to just like boss and still have a supporter for turn. Well, Pyroar can do that every turn as long as it
Mm-hmm.
has a fire energy attached. And I think you made a great call out there. Finding a package with this Pyroar and the Magma Basin. So it's not even really costing you much except a couple of damage per turn to just like boss this, boss that. I think
Yep.
fire is like if fire was a little bit more aggressive, this guy would be awesome. And
Totally agree.
the Victini is so close. If this said if you have 3 or fewer, it does nothing. Like it's just the requirement
Yep.
of
That
5
last one.
Pokemon
I
is
agree.
crazy. Like ease up on the
Or even
restriction a
4
little
or
bit.
fewer in play. 4 or fewer in play would work. And
Yeah,
I think another
just
thing too, it could be a fire list for this Pyroar here could be something that you lean more into like early game acceleration.
yeah.
And you like a welder, like maybe like an aggressive welder or like a battle compressor or blacksmith type of build where you just get the Entei out and swinging early, and you can start setting up your board behind it. I don't know, just a thought. Maybe
Yeah.
that one wouldn't work. I'm not sure
Yeah.
that'd be the best, but just saying.
And just because he's one of my absolute favorites, I'm gonna give a shout out to Grand Flame Arcanine. I love this card. It's so good. 3 fire energy, 120 plus accelerate 2 fire energy sounds exactly like what fire wants to do. I'm hitting you in the face right now. I'm setting up the next guy in the back, and it's got a great large attack heat tackle. I think it does like 190 or something. So really cool. Just really close. These guys are really close.
Mhm.
But let's talk about a wish list. Just to take a quick minute before we wrap up here to just say what could fire get that maybe some other types already have that would really propel it up the standings and give it some good stuff here.
So I have a good one to start. I know that we're gonna add some cards to the screen, but I'm gonna put my plea in for the TCG Pocket card Flame Patch to be added to
Yeah.
the regular TCG. I think that we could really use the another way to get an energy from the discard back to one of our attackers,
Mhm.
and that card can be attached to the active, which makes it even more busted than the dark patch or the wondrous patch that have been seeing some play in GLC.
Yeah.
So hey, bring that card out, please. We
Yeah,
want it. Thank you.
what a cool shout. I honestly didn't know about it till Thomas told us about it, but dude, that would be just such a cool card. And it would give so much value to having like another great point for the Dante's deck is getting one of your stage 2s feels like it puts you right in a game, so it gives so much more value, even more value to that Charizard as well. I mean, if you are able
Yeah.
to just like no retreat tool, just promote Chi-Yu, flame patch, and you got the Charizard, that's great. And Joel, if you want to go a few more cards here, I'll talk about a lot of the stage ones that we're kind of longing for. Um, yeah, I mean, I think my main point here would be like a Malamar on a Combuskin, a Zatu or Curlia effect on a Braixen. Like I'm really, really longing for a Braixen. I
Yeah.
think a Braixen would just be so fitting for like a Dragon Call or a Grottle type of effect, like go search out one of your guys. Zot Clairvoyant Sense, attach a fire energy to a bench Pokemon, draw 2. Refinement would make a lot of sense. I feel like Braixen's kind of like a fire Curlia. I mean, it is a psychic type too, both Braixen and Delphox. But give that stage 1 some love, and I think fire is in. I think that's how much it takes, like that, and maybe a Combuskin with a fire starter, and I think we're right in there, man.
Yeah.
So
100%.
that's what I would want.
And I've got to give my shout out here to the Frostmoth. If Fire had a stage 1 hydro pump type style, or the that hyper acceleration, I would absolutely love that. I think Fire needs that little bit of fast ability. Having it on a stage 2 is so difficult, but having it on a stage 1 would be so good. It would really propel Fire forward. And talking about the Pyroar in our last slide here, you tell me I can put Pyroar and stage 1 like Ice Dance ability in the same deck, and I can attach that energy every turn for free and boss something up, like insane. Give me that.
Mhm. I know
Alex,
Alex feels very
Alex,
similar.
what's your wish list? What would you love for Fire to have that another type's already got?
Yeah, I would a stage 1 accelerator, something specifically. Honestly, I think uh really, I mean, a Frostmoth or like Cherrim would be ideal, but to keep it a little bit more realistic, and to more just variety in the format, like a Charizard equivalent is actually kind of more what I'd like, but with a restriction like
Mm.
Frostmoth and Cherrim have, where Cherrim can't attach to rule boxes, which isn't a restriction in GLC, but it is one for the greater card pool and the reason they printed it. We're
Mm-hmm.
able to print it such a powerful card for GLC, or like Frostmoth is only to bench and water Pokemon. So I could see something like a Pyroar that doubles basic fire energies, but only when they're attached to your fire Pokemon, or
Mm.
that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
And I just think a stage 1 to replace one of the two stage 2 accelerators is
Oh,
really
would
what
be
we need.
so nice.
Yeah.
And realistically, I would like it to be the Charizard, so Emboar could stay. So I agree with you. Let's get a Pyroar that doubles the energy so I can keep my guy in there.
Okay. And then, yeah, realistically, I mean, Iron Boulder, Okie dokie, just a strong basic attacker for fire that costs 2 energy. 2 energy is the requirement. That's what we need. Not 3. We've got plenty of 3 energy cost attackers. We need a 2 energy attacker to just
Mhm.
Not
allow us
Thor
to,
with Reshiram.
to just
Yeah,
allow
right.
us to be a little bit more aggressive in the early game. You know, that's what we want. That's what we need. TPCI, you can have all these for free. Any of these dudes. Any of these dudes. We're not even asking you for things special for fire. Just give us any of these in the fire
We
pool, and we'd appreciate that.
Begging.
So, and the last thing we absolutely have to talk about, we've been talking about fire for an hour and a half, but I would be remiss if we don't at least harken back to where fire has had some success in the past. But I have to ask the question, gentlemen, is Fire Mill a thing?
It's not nothing. I mean, it's honestly the deck we have here, it's pretty close to that. You just swap out Heatmore, Entei, and Chi-Yu for Scorch Moltres.
Mhm.
And you have pretty much a similar, if not same, functioning deck that just, instead of taking prize cards, aims to mill.
Mhm.
And it certainly is powerful. I mean, milling 10 cards at once is pretty good. It's just, I don't know. The one attacker beating a stage 1 is tough. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Kev,
think there are
what
some
do you
real
think?
legs, you know? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
There's
we're
plenty
hitting it
of
right
legs.
on
Look
the
at how
head
many that
here.
sent to Scorch out. He's got like
He's
20.
yeah, he's
He's got
got yeah, he's
plenty of
got quite a
legs.
few. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's just slot the mill guys into Dante's and go from there. I think that alluring light, chandelier, each player draws a card. I think that can be like some sneaky mill and decent draw. But you know, it's hard to say that it's cooler or better than a heat more after heat more after heat more. You know.
Yeah. The Heatmore's got to feel better, right?
hmm
Right.
Well, I don't know. If I'm milling, like, say you have, I don't know, 10 basics or 9 basics in the deck, milling like 15 to 18 seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can. Someone will have to do it and let us know. So it's been a great conversation, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here to talk about fire in defense of fire. So I want to wrap up, and I want to wrap up with the same question for all of you. Kev, I think we're going to start with you, my good sir. Where is fire right now, and is fire F tier?
Well, we had this conversation the other night, and I don't think it's F tier. I think if you're doing a tier list of Pokemon types in Gym Leader Challenge, you need to look at it. You need to include Fairy. Fairy is F type or F tier. That's fine,
Yeah,
but we need to set the
fairy's the
standard of Fairy
worst,
being
but
yeah, we need to
outside
set
of
the standard
fairy.
of Fairy being F tier, and I would say Fire is probably like D, maybe C. It can get up. I mean, like we've seen the peak of Fire, I mean, compete with S tier decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that bumps it up to C, but I'm not so sure. I would say low C, high D tier for Fire. On a whole, like if you played 100 games of Fire, that's probably where it would end up.
All right. Thomas, I'm going to give you the same question, my good sir. How do you feel about where Fire is right now in the format as a whole? And is Fire an F tier deck?
I am confident to say that Fire is not an F tier deck. I
Yeah.
think that I think that Fire has the potential to be a low C tier deck, like Kev was saying, but probably falls into the D tier. Unfortunately for us, it seems like the Pokemon folks are not keen on printing very many good fire cards. So until we can really spice things up, uh, looks like we're gonna have to start making some little tiny changes to this fire list that Kevin Alex built up as the best list for at least the foreseeable future. Um, so if we're counting this specific deck, I think it's not F tier. If you're trying to run any other types of fire decks, good luck.
Those are F tier. If you're not running this list, you're running an F tier deck. Sorry. All right. And Alex, my good sir, I'm going to give you the last word here. Uh, where are we with Fire right now? And is Fire in the meta an F tier deck?
It No, I say it's C tier. Partly because I mean, when it pops off,
Yeah,
popping off means you set up two stage twos at the same time that
it's got
do
upside,
extremely
baby.
powerful things. So it's hard to put that as bad. And also, even when your things aren't going well, it's still just one of the more fun types to play. And I think that's a huge thing for me in GLC is whether I
Yeah.
enjoy playing the deck. And I really
Agreed.
enjoy playing the fire deck, even if I lose. um, so I think it's fine. Obviously, I'd love for it to be better, but like it's there.
Yeah. But I think we all mutually agree in a general consensus after a fantastic hour and 40-minute conversation about Fire. Fire is not an F tier deck, ladies and gentlemen. Sleeve up Fire. Yes, it may not be the deck that you can go and consistently bank winning 7 or 8 rounds and a bunch of best of threes at full grip. Maybe it won't be able to do that in its current iteration. But where you are, at your locals, if you're playing a 3-round or 4-round locals right now, I'm telling you, sleeve this bad boy up, play with Fire. Fire can run hot and win you 3 to 4 rounds in a row, and you will feel awesome doing it. And Alex, you were absolutely right. It feels good. It feels fun to play Fire. Fire is a ton of fun to play. It does these crazy powerful things. Yes, the floor is way down there, but the ceiling is way up here. I will argue that Heatmore, that 9180 is one of the best things that can be done in GLC right now. It feels great. You just gotta avoid the bench barriers, folks. Like you just gotta hope a little bit, get a little lucky. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me in our fantastic discussion. I know this went way longer than we expected, so I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you've watched all the way to the end, we really appreciate you. If you could, do us a solid. Give us a thumbs up. Hit us with the subscribe. Drop a comment down there. Tell us what we're doing great. Tell us how you feel Fire is. If you have a suggestion of another type that you would love to have us have a conversation about, just drop anything in. We appreciate every little bit because we are trying to grow the best Pokemon community on the planet, and we need your help to do it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thomas, congratulations on fantastic showing, and we look forward to pairing up against you across the table soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Alex, my main man, you are a wealth of knowledge, and we really appreciate you hanging out and the support that you've given Kev and everyone else in being a champion for Fire. So I appreciate you making the time, brother.
Of course.
And of course, my co-pilot, my co-compatriot, my co-host with the co-most, you had to be here. You were contractually obligated to be on here. So I don't have to thank you quite as much. But I will.
but it was still a pleasure. It was still a pleasure.
You were the catalyst to make this happen. You were the fire truther who said we're going to make this work, and I think you've made something really great. So, Kev, thanks for being here, also, my man.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you for more Parallel City Syndicate action in the future. And if you liked these conversations, let us know. We can have more. It'll be great. But until then, I hope you have a fantastic morning, an outstanding afternoon, and a truly phenomenal evening, no matter when you're watching. But no matter when it is, don't forget to get out there and run GLC.